What's happening, people of the world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and Wade Show with me, your host, Tommy Mac.
And me, the better host, Tyrone McKenna.
And you all know the crack, we're in association with the finest whiskey in the land. That's Dragon Claw whiskey.
Get your hands on some whiskey. If you're a whiskey lover, if you're not a whiskey lover, get on this because it's unbelievable.
It don't get any better. And today, we are joined on the show by YouTube superstar, advisor to the stars, the king of wances, Big Nico.
I like that one. I like that one. But there's a running joke now in the office. Because someone said, Nico, you really think that you're watch Jesus, right? And I was like, fuck, did I really come across like that?
You're not quite Jesus, but you're the closest thing.
Oh, exactly. What? A fat version, though.
Listen, once you're superstar, you're eating well.
Exactly. This is wealth, mate. This is wealth.
What I want to know is, how does someone... You came from a working class background.
Yes.
You weren't brought up rich. You weren't brought up around watches.
Yes.
So how do you get involved or get into... When did you start loving watches? When did you know?
A very young age, right? Very, very young age. I was just always loving taking things apart. I wasn't good at it. Basically, I could take it apart but couldn't put it back together. Yeah. That's a problem, right?
That's a big problem.
Right, definitely. So, but I always loved it, but I was never really thinking about a career in any way, shape or form. So I wasn't thinking about a career in anything because I just wasn't good at school and shit. But I was just fixing watches at a certain point for people and used it as a side hustle.
Fixed them in school?
Yeah, no, that was later. Because school wasn't... I didn't stay at school very long.
What age did you leave school?
I was 16 or 17.
And you just went into fixing watches, not
selling? No, I had all sorts of fucking jobs, worked in McDonald's, worked for my father selling photo cameras, worked in restaurants at a this is so weird. At my local, there's a theme park, right? But it's about birds, right? Like birds.
Bird park?
Like exotic bird park. I just wanted to say it's like a bird park. Yeah, I like a bird park.
And so where are you from, Nico? Because people where is this exotic
born and
park?
raised in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam?
So, the Netherlands.
I moved
girls,
here. Handy man. All over to Nico in Amsterdam.
Fucking right. Let her have it.
But, so you're from Amsterdam?
Yes. And became a foreigner in this country in 2012.
Well, how come you pay? Because I read a story where you took out a loan.
Yes.
Did you take out a loan here?
But that was on a business. That was business wise.
Right.
No, I moved here 2013 because I didn't know. By the way, I didn't know anything about Ireland. I didn't know anything about Northern Ireland.
How come you chose
So what
here?
did you just spin the fucking atlas and go boom, right?
The funny bit is, I always thought about. I'd never been with a car on a boat.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking stupid, right? But there's the Amsterdam Harbour. You call it IJmuiden, and there was a ferry that was going to Newcastle, and then there was another ferry in Scotland that was going to Belfast. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go there."
Just randomly?
Just random, and they were looking some jobs there for people that speak Dutch and stuff.
Mm.
So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll guarantee a job there. I can speak Dutch." I mean. I'm not capable of doing much, but I can speak my own language, So that's some qualification, So I've done that, and then back into football. So I was trying to play a bit of football here, and that was my ambition. Unfortunately, I broke my ankle very, very soon.
I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate. Seems like it's fortunate now.
Fortunate now, but you can. At that moment, it broke my heart, but. I met a girl and I just wanted to stay here and was fired from that job and then was fired from another job. So Concentrics in Belfast?
Yep.
Absolute cunts, by the way. Absolute cunts.
Fuck you, Concentrics.
Fuck you cunt. Right? The people that work there are actually nice, right? So they import people out of all sorts of fucking countries, right? To do all sorts of customer service jobs. And they were absolute. I've never seen a company being mismanaged like that before, but whatever. Just a big dig at that. Like 10 years later, fuck it. But, they fired me after a couple of weeks, so I was there.
Couple of weeks? What did you do? Why did you get fired?
I don't really remember. I was just not agreeing with something, and it's like, you should do it this way because I wouldn't be very good with authority, and I think I know everything better.
I'm kind of the same. I've had a lot of jobs sacked within 3-4 weeks because I'm headstrong. I'm like, you're not telling me what the fuck I'm doing. I'm taking the whole thing.
Something like that. I am a head case, to be fair. At least I know it. But no, I was fired from that quickly. Then there was another company called MRP in Belfast. Got fired from that after 7 months. But that was because I was continuously late.
Right.
Because they wanted you to start at fucking 8 a.m.
That's him.
Yeah.
Every day late. I'm a man. I'm a stickler for time. I hate people being late.
Yeah.
And he's always late.
But if the problem is, I'm just not good in the morning. I just hate the fucking mornings, you know. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Just in an ideal world, I wake up at 10, 11 or something, and then I will work through the night. But the morning, waking up, I hate it. But that wasn't a great success either. So... But I just wanted to stay in Northern Ireland because I had a girlfriend and I started to love the people. I started to feel really at home, and like I've never like the people on the island of Ireland, and like I was only able to speak at that time from Belfast. They're just the nicest people. Like I was getting all the support and all the love, and you meet people and you go out. My first ever Belfast friend.
You've adopted a big Belfast accent,
because fuck me, my
That's
social...
where you learn English. Did you learn English like off TV before you came here?
Yeah, but like the Dutch
so you were
people
talking like an American came out when you came here?
Probably, but the Dutch people would all speak English anyway.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But
your first Belfast friend, you were saying?
First, Andrew, he's still my friend. I can keep friends. I can't keep jobs, but I can keep friends. Andrew, and I met him in, what do you call that wacky place?
The Rangers Club?
Fair enough. A wacky place, some bar. But I met his girlfriend first, right?
Jesus Christ, Nico.
This was before I met the girl I stayed, right? And I tried to hit on his girlfriend. Like, who the fuck does that, right? I didn't know it was his girlfriend. Right?
Oh, right, okay.
But he was all, maybe it was some fucking mad, stupid thingy. What do you call that? Like, he kicked on that or something. I don't know. But I tried to hit on his girlfriend, and he became my mate, and the girlfriend was sacked. I swear. Not much.
You stole him instead of her?
Yeah, exactly. So he's still my mate today, funny enough. We had some adventures, and with him we met so many people from here, and it just became home, and my son is born here now, and this is home. This is home. This is where I will be for the rest of my life.
Do you go back to Hound to visit much, or?
My mom and dad are only there, and they're getting old and not very healthy, so only.
So fuck Emmons, you're not going back.
No.
How about what you think, Nico, to make you feel a wee bit more at home as well?
Oh, look at that. The 3 X's. Thank you so much. You know what this means?
No.
No one knows this, actually.
What is it?
These are the 3 wars in Amsterdam that have been won.
Okay.
Right? So one war I don't know about. Second war I have no clue about. But the third war was the Second World War.
Right,
so that's why it's the,
the
3 X's. Right?
Maybe
It's the fucking best looking flag you can get. Like,
it is nice.
It
it's
is.
nice, like.
But best looking name, best sounding name as well, you know.
How did you start your watch career? Like, you came over here, you were here, but how did you get into watches?
So, after I was fired, right, I had a job in Dublin, and that was the only job I was able to keep, and the only job I wasn't fired from because I quit my job. Like, I was, as a side hustle, I was repairing watches here. This is where the side hustle came in. And I was doing some work for some jewelers and stuff like that, and the work was not great, but whatever. At the time, I was able to make a few quid, and I worked in Dublin. Now, I always wanted to be into watches, but it's very cash heavy.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I was just fucking desperate, mate. My life was just, if this is life, I'm hating it. I was driving every day from Banbridge, County Down, to Carrick Mines, Junction 15 on the M50 in Dublin, right? Now, that's a hell, right?
Yeah.
And I've done that for 3.5 years. And for me, it was like, if this is life, I'm bringing back home 40k, 30k, which is still a good amount of money, don't get me wrong. But for the sacrifices I had to make, it didn't really add up. And it was for me, I just wanted to change in life, you know? I just wanted to fucking change. And the only thing I know, the only 2 things I love so dearly is football and watches. Now, watches I was already making a few quid with, right? Yeah. But it wasn't much. Football, that wasn't possible anymore. So there was only one option. I was like,
Watches.
fuck this.
Yeah.
And quit my job and got a loan of 20,000 euros. AIB Bank approved it in 5 minutes. Brilliant.
Did you know
You bet on
someone at the
yourself.
bank?
What was the first watches you bought?
I want to know how you get the bank loan so fast.
Because I was working in Ireland in the
Good
south
crap.
for like I was registered in the
Yeah.
south, right? Because I actually had to flee Northern Ireland for a year.
Oh, jeez.
Where?
Oh.
Because Andrew
No,
gone mad.
driving
He's
offences.
trying to touch for his bird.
Exactly. Driving offences.
Driving
I
offences.
lived in Omeath, County Louth,
Yep.
for a year and a half because I had to drive
Border
to
happened.
work,
Yeah.
and I wasn't allowed to drive in the north.
No.
Right?
really?
So I was disqualified of driving or whatever the fuck. This is actually a mad story, right? Because I was disqualified. Not proud of that in any way, shape, or form. But I was disqualified. But I don't know how the court system works, right? So I heard I was disqualified and I wasn't allowed to drive after me being stopped twice. You're not allowed to drive. So they brought me then again to court. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, but guys, I don't know what's going on here. I just want to go to work, you know. Like I've made a mistake, and
Yeah.
and genuinely
What were you doing? Speeding? Is that what the offense?
Speeding, yeah. The first instance was I wasn't driving. Well, I had alcohol, but I was sitting behind the steering wheel in January, freezing my balls off, because I was waiting for Andrew. Funny enough,
wasn't driving. The car was moving. I was behind the steering wheel, but I wasn't driving.
it sounds so fucking bad, and I'm embarrassed about it. But like, there was nothing else in that situation I would have done different now.
Yeah.
Other than now knowing, don't sit on the passenger seat, or don't sit on the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Like it was just after a night out, and we were in Kremlin, and then walked to. He lived quite closely where High Street is, so we walked that. I walked that, and I lost him. My phone his phone was dead,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to stay at his place. Very simple, and
You
basically
were just waiting for him in the
waiting
car.
for him. Yeah, that's it.
Just waiting on a mate.
In January, waiting for a mate in January, switching on the engine, getting some heat in,
Yeah.
fell asleep because it was fucking smashed, of course. And then all of a sudden I was woken up by the police.
Shots.
So, and I never had the intention to drive. So,
That's
Yeah,
not-
but
that's- that's a bit
they
harsh.
done you dirty.
so they done me.
You know.
They done me for a year, but I thought that year was already started, right? So me driving, and then police stopped me. Yeah, you're qualified. You're disqualified, and I'm like, that was a year ago, but that never started. So I had to sit another year with that because I was
Never.
driving while disqualified.
Yeah.
And then instead of me staying in Northern Ireland because I would have lost my job,
Right, that's it.
I moved to County Louth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Omeath, close to the border, and I drove that from there every day to
Your
Carrick
work,
Mines. Yeah, and then that was just mad, mate. That was
There it
fucking
is.
mad. Then I came back. This is where we actually won the case. They came back. The disqualification again didn't start. It hasn't started. So it was 3 years,
Fuck.
nearly. So at that moment in time, because I worked, I had a bit of money. At the
Yeah.
time, I didn't have money because of, what the fuck,
Yeah.
right? A solicitor helped me out, and the prosecutor understood the situation, and they got me. It was a genuine situation.
Yeah.
And they
You got
helped
it
me out and
sorted,
said,
yeah.
okay, this is fine, because I moved back.
Is that why? When I first met you, I was obviously
Driver.
You had a driver.
Yeah.
I was always getting suits from Chris Suter. Shout out Chris Suter, he's a friend of yours.
Suit! Saw him the other day.
But I was always going in his shop, and you'd pop by, and that's
Yeah.
when I started realizing who you were. And then you'd always have a driver, right? My
Yeah.
driver's coming. I was like, fuck me, who's this guy as a driver? You were selling watches out of basically a car.
Out of a bit of my car, indeed.
I used to come out with me like a wee briefcase or whatever it was, and this watch, and you'd be seeing all these unbelievable watches, and then
The driver. We dressed it up nicely, but like in a way, no, dressed him up nicely. Jim is still there, by the way. Jim is still my driver. And I'm not disqualified anymore, by the way. But Jim was there. We dressed it up like security stuff, but it was because it was a bit of embarrassment that I was disqualified because of that. So, and I had to basically, I quit my job. I didn't want to do the drive anymore, and I wanted to sell watches.
yeah.
And like he was there to drive me around Northern Ireland or the south or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And that was Jim. That was Jimbo, and he's still around.
Brilliant.
Jimbo was funny, like.
You got the 20 grand. What watches did you buy?
I bought a Rolex 116234. Bought that from Wilson's Auctions at the time. I had a black dial, Bought a Breitling Navy timer, 42 mil with a gold Breitling, with a yellow gold bezel, with a steel watch. Paid €2,000 for that at the time. And a Pelagos, Tudor Pelagos, a titanium.
And so you bought 3 watches, and that was you. I have to make it here.
Yes.
Were you not worried at the stage, like, if I don't sell these or I don't do well, I'm fucked. I've
Yeah,
got 20 grand.
I lived in Banbridge, right? Springfields. By the way, everyone to Springfields, shithole. No offense.
He's got all sorts of enemies out there.
Get us cancelled.
Just a bit of banter here. No, listen, I loved Banbridge and I lived in Limewood, or they called it Crimewood at the time.
Yeah.
Right? And I loved it. I always enjoyed it very much there. Springfields was just a bit of up their arse people. And that was it. But other than that, it was Banbridge. I hold that place in my heart. Fucking hell. I still sometimes play, really sometimes once in 6 months, like
Drive
play
through in
football
a
there or
Ferrari.
Drive through in the Ferrari.
and I said, money doesn't change. Money that hasn't changed me.
When did you start seeing it
Yeah, that it's working.
That's going to be your career? You're going to make it?
I at many points that I couldn't pay the rent, mate.
Yeah, because
Many points.
I actually do remember back in the day going, I don't think I heard like a rumor like you weren't making loads of money when you opened that Pride and Pin your first shop, and I was like, fuck. He's like all your money was on in watches, every single bit of it.
I had to sell a few of the things that I owned, watches as well, personal collection, to open a shop, but the shop only cost me 25 grand. And Bill Wolseley, who I absolutely loved to bits, supported me. In the first few months, he said, okay, if you can't afford it, it's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Son, you need people like that in your
You
corner.
definitely do.
Listen, they worked really hard to build a 5-star hotel and beautiful, etc. And then they let someone in that they didn't know if he was.
It suits.
They must have seen something. They must have seen
But
something.
it does. It suits their clientele and their
Of course.
merchant.
But you don't know the person who's sitting behind the other side of the table. You know, they didn't know who I was, and I only had good intentions, which is good. But like the trust that they gave me as well, mate, I'll never forget that. I owed them. That's the reason why the business is as well. Every bit like that, Bill Wolsey, just being generous in that way, and I paid 25 grand to I don't know what they're called, but they were in Bangor, to get out the whole shop.
Yeah, it's a lovely shop.
It's
Unbelievable shop.
It needs a refurb, but now
It's still the same as when I was there.
yes, yeah. But I want it to be different, and we have some big news as well, because I'll tell you that in a bit. But that was it. That was just me sitting there in that shop, just me alone, just sitting in that shop.
Yeah, you were there constantly all day, every day. It was your baby. But see, when I knew you, that's when you just opened the shop in 2017, and then you kind of went quiet.
Aye.
I didn't really hear from you again for a couple of years, and the next thing I just see Nico popping up on the YouTube channel everywhere. Fucking, you blew up. You became a YouTube sensation. So
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't have said that's the wee boy there in the back.
Johnny's.
That's as Tommy
The
called him, the apprentice. Fuck's sake.
If you see Johnny right now, he looks about 16. He's really mid-20s, but he looks like a kid.
The funny bit is without Johnny, we wouldn't be here.
So why did you start the YouTube channel? Why would
2000? When did we start? 2020.
So
During
COVID,
lockdown?
yeah.
August 2020, yeah. August 2020, and we had to, because listen, my strength was I was taught once, you're as strong as your network is, right? So I was always everywhere at every boxing event.
That's why
at
we're weak as waters. Me and him's a network.
You
Anybody else?
see, you see, every boxing event, every football event, everything, I had to be there. And I asked Chris, because Chris was a master at that.
Oh, he's a master.
You see what I mean? And he brought me under his wing. He's like, listen, this is what we'll bring you there, and we'll introduce you to these people. And Chris, again, is also a vital part of my business at the time. And without him and his support and him opening the doors, I wouldn't be here either. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So without these people, these key people, and help, and I was just listening there and absorbing and listening what these smarter people were saying. And YouTube was started because I had to close the shop because of COVID.
Yeah. Right.
So when COVID came, every retail location had to close, of every hospitality had to close. but the retail was allowed to be open. But the problem is my retail location was in a hotel, so my shop was closed.
Nightmare.
And we had to promote the business in some way, shape, or form, and that was all in. I didn't have a fucking penny anymore on my name. It was done.
Were you panicking?
Yes, mate. But to be frank, there was a point a week where I actually gave up on the business.
Really?
Done. It was done. I was like, fuck this. I got fired everywhere. Did failure again, right? And then I just started to get my shit together. I was like, so you've put all this time, all this effort. Everyone helped you so much, and you're just gonna let this fucking go?
Did the YouTube channel blow up instantly, or was it grinding?
I think the first 3 weeks it started growing all right, and then all of a sudden 1 or 2 videos just went to the moon.
You're really smart with like the way you even the captions, like putting a celebrity on the thing and saying, "Oh, Justin Timberlake's watch is fake" or something like that. And
then, that is not me. I can say yes. Yeah, we're very clever, but that's that fucking. That's that we fucking.
It's good clickbait, and then that gets you into it.
You get clickbaited, son.
You
get clickbaited.
But so it just started snowballing from there.
Yeah, that was it, and then all of a sudden we started selling watches.
So
again.
is that how you became like an advisor in the celebrities about
watches?
No, I was. They seen you on YouTube, and then they go.
I was always around.
See if this is the right one to get.
I was always around football squads, right?
Yeah.
I was always around it, right? Northern Ireland squad and the Republic of Ireland squad, mostly Northern Ireland, because these guys all of a sudden became friends of mine, and I started just advising what to buy. Yeah. And it wasn't about me selling a watch; it was more about making just sure. And if they ever want to buy a watch, fantastic. Yeah. But a lot of them actually bought watches then from me, and that helped my business as well. So that then just became on a next level, and now. Today, it's like the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah, you've had the likes of KSI.
I haven't sold him a watch yet, though.
Have you not?
Just
talking, advising him.
Oh yeah, advice.
What do you do?
I'm selling a watch to Fixter, though.
Who?
Fixter.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So I'm seeing him. I was supposed to see him today in London.
We were more important,
but you guys were more important.
Sorry, mate. Listen, you'll
Tyrone, McKenna, mate.
Exactly.
Who are you again? No, I'm joking.
This is Joe Joyce. But
oh, that is a hard one.
He's
gonna kill
me. Is there any like you're an advisor? So what does a watch advisor do? What?
No, I'm not. Like I'm just advising.
I know you have a massive patience, so you probably advise them to get hublos and
get the fuck right. Listen, advising is the people have several angles and people have several goals what they want to achieve, right? Some people want to buy watches that hold or increase their value, and to be honest, at the moment watches are still holding better money than anything else. Like it's literally the perfect hedge against inflation at the moment, like literally. But as much as watches are investments, I also want to see the passion in people, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you actually want to buy? What do you want to achieve with that collection? And it's maybe for whenever a footballer is retired or something like that, or when kids are grown up, or when someone gets kids, you see what I mean? And making sure that they will have. It's a watch, but it's also currency, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
you don't want it to drop value.
Exactly. So we have grandfathers that buy watches for their grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
And that's for their whenever they turn 18, and they then have the head start, for example. But it's watches are just incredible to buy in general. This is my life, you know what I mean?
I seen you bought your dream watch the other day, was it?
Yes, yeah. Dutch brand.
I haven't seen this happy in my life.
Dutch watchmaker, yeah. That is something that is like that's watch is unobtainable in every way possible, and we've been able to secure that. It's a watch that's first of all very expensive, but
what is the most expensive watch you've ever possessed?
I didn't own it, but I bought it on behalf of my client. That was 7 million, but I bought that on behalf of my client.
7 million?
Yeah.
What kind of watch was it?
I can't specifically because it's really rare.
Okay.
To really, there's not many watches out there, if you know what I mean. So
right.
If like I've spoke about this with the Fellas podcast as well, and it's just a mad transaction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I got paid up front. Right, and I needed to handle this for my client.
Yeah.
So the client trusts you with fucking.
With 7 million,
I've never seen
it
this.
was 5.5.
You see,
So people pay you to go and get a watch then?
In this case, yeah, but that's only at certain
That's
levels,
certain
right?
levels.
That's only certain levels. Like we have a full retail operation in Belfast. We're opening in I'm taking over a big company in London, making us in one go overnight the third biggest watch retailer in the UK. In the entire.
Is that a done
UK.
deal already?
The solicitors are working on everything now, and it's going to be, the deadline is the 14th. So
hope it goes.
if that happens, it's big news. But with this transaction, we're also saving a lot of people's jobs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, our business gets injected with 1,600 watches, which were otherwise going insolvent. So we're actually saving a lot of people with this, and it's something that I'm very proud of. We've been working on it.
Tell me this, Nico. Why is the watch? Is this universal to be worn in the left hand?
It's a good question. I always come. I came up with a story that it's coming back at the time of where it wasn't normal to view the time. Where you look at the time at either a church clock, right? And you had your wife on your right arm, and only the rich people had the pocket watch, and it was always in the left pocket. So I actually think it's because of that, right?
Yeah,
because
that
people had
makes
their
sense.
wife
That's
on
a
their
good
right
theory.
arm.
Nico's theory.
Yeah, Nico's theory. I'm good with theories and conspiracies and all sorts.
Okay.
I never really was into watches. I have one watch that you're saying about people get for their kids. No, my dad got me for my 21st birthday a Gucci watch, and he loved watches, and he always used to go on about them. And I remember coming up to my 21st, he was like, "God, do something you might not appreciate it now, but you'll appreciate it when you're older." And I said, "He's got me a fucking watch. I don't want a fucking watch.
I don't want to watch."
On my birthday, opened it. It was a Gucci watch. I heard. Is there any money in that?
No.
Just
They
for long.
don't.
Just to be keeps.
This is going to be really awkward, isn't it?
I already told him, don't worry.
You get a flim for it.
Right, next subject.
But I've seen a lot of.
Listen, normally I don't give a shit and I'll tell you the truth, but he's actually quite strong, you know? He'll fucking knock me out.
But I've seen a lot of, even in your social media presence, a lot of fake watches. Even celebrities are watching.
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing? Is it a dangerous thing?
The funny bit is all these celebrities are a bunch of idiots, right? That wear fake watches because their excuses. Yeah, I don't want to be robbed or stabbed. And I'm like,
But sure, they're going to do it anyway.
sure. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's a ridiculous argument. Like, it's a ridiculous argument. What do you call that boxer? Fuck me. His father was a boxer, big boxer.
Conor Benn?
What?
Conor Benn, no.
Or
No.
Chris Eubank?
Eubank, right? So the youngest, I don't know if he's everyone's mate, but I'm sorry, but everything he wears, including clothes, is fake. I'm
Really?
so sorry to say this,
off,
right?
are
His watches are all fake. And then I tagged him and made the comments like, listen, do you understand that wearing fake watches or buying fake watches, you're actually supporting a criminal and terrorist organizations, because that money goes into, first of all, child labor, which is insane. If you I have seen this, sweatshops where these watches are being built, first of all. Second of all, this is the shocker, it's all terrorist money. That's all feed into terrorist organization.
Can you just look at it and just go,
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
That's bullshit.
Hi.
It's like women, you can recognize tits, you know.
Okay. That's
Oh,
fine.
hey,
But
don't
say
wanna
if
go
you
to
put,
If you have a good eye for it,
say if
though.
you put two Rolexes, probably one's fake, one's real.
You will, some of which you will be able to see, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, Johnny now is also Johnny's
Really?
able to
Johnny,
spot it.
I wouldn't say that.
Chris Eubank?
That's, I
Nico's calling you it, so
I see that Tyrone's got a nice watch.
I know. I've actually wore it for him today.
I appreciate that. Appreciate
man, I
that.
don't usually-
But with Eubank, everything he wears is fake.
He
Everything.
tell me this is fake soon. I'll be like, fuck, is it?
But I'm going to laugh, Nico.
Aye.
Hang on, idea. Have a look at my one.
Oh, if you got a wee
Oh,
fancy
look at
watch
that.
on, everyone's bringing their fat.
This is probably the shadest watch you'll ever see.
Let me see.
He has his favorite. Nico's favorite watch is a Casio watch. Do you still have
Listen,
a
there's
Casio?
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's practical. It's just
it's Frank.
It's practical, yeah, it tells the time. Wow. Listen, it's not about the money, it's not about the value, right? And you just bought this in a fucking, where did you buy it?
Amazon. For
Amazon.
20 quid.
Exactly. So you're not interested in that, and it's fine, right? You're interested in music, and you'll probably have what instrument do you play?
Guitar.
So you probably have a real big ass fucking mad guitar.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you're probably saying it's $5,000. I was like, it's a guitar, mate, $5,000, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the same type of thing,
Yeah.
right? It's something personal. And watches, this is what people, they're apologizing for their watch because I'm there. It's like, why? Why? This is something that you wear that you're happy with. It's not fake. You're not supporting fucking bad stuff with it. Like it's just, it's you're not into that. You know what I mean?
Well,
But if you're into watches, you buy this. You ask me my opinion. I was like, then we would have a different
even
story.
in your shop in Pride Opinion, you had a Casio watch. You always had it there.
Yeah,
Is
always.
it still there?
Yes,
Is it
of
gone
course.
now? You're too famous to have a Casio.
No, absolutely not. Because Casio, and I call this God tier and viral, and
Yeah.
I think that Casio, in every way possible, is the one watch brand that everyone should have in every walk of life, and they do. The richest people in the world have it. The most successful people in the world have it. Like the biggest watch collectors. Like we're talking about, I have seen collections worth 20, 30 million, right? And they all have a Casio.
Really?
All have a G-Shock.
I like
Because it
Casio
works in
myself,
every
like-
it works in every walk of life.
Yeah.
It's accepted in every walk of life.
Do you get much trolling online? I'm sure you don't know because he controls your.
No, like
Does he get much trolling?
To be fair, there's not really been too much.
No.
Hasn't. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, that's all I get online is trolls.
I remember seeing a thing.
Yeah.
Was this about maybe 2 years ago, where what do you call him? He's a social influencer, Andy Malone,
No.
and he said that you. were having a
that
back
was
and
the
forth,
only thing.
The
Yeah.
troll busters.
Yeah. Is he still doing his stupid stuff?
I don't know.
He's still online. Yeah.
Is he?
Is he still
I
online?
asked him to come on the show. He's agreed.
Have he?
Fair play, fair
But
play.
I asked him
Listen.
ages ago, and he hasn't get
Listen,
back to me.
listen.
But I remember he was going to you and Suter.
Yeah, you know why?
going to Suitors,
You know why? Because I remembered it. Like, I remember it. It was he was doing this about his documentary on Netflix and shit like that, right?
it was all-
And then he was filming something.
I remember it.
He was in LA or something.
Yeah,
and
it
I was
was.
like, mate, that's part of a YouTube video. It's easy to be reversed find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can search for that. And I'm like, that's that same clip. What are you doing, right?
I remember it.
And I was like, is it really like usually people like that are very insecure, right? And listen, I have a lot of insecurities myself. There's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
right? But I try to be as real. I try to be as real
Real,
as I am today, tomorrow. The first time you met me, I'm the same cunt that I am now. Fact.
You actually are,
Yeah.
100%.
Fact, right? And I'll never fucking change that because that's important for me. And at that moment, I called him out, and that I've learned from that. There's actually a very valuable lesson from that. Is that I had more to lose. Why the fuck did I do that? Because I, as a person, have more to lose than Andy because my following was bigger. So and he makes fun of me, right? And that was a bit tricky at that moment. But I just reacted like I would always do. Don't think. Right?
Yeah.
If that happens today or tomorrow, I don't even
Take a
entertain
second to
it.
think.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
How long ago was that? It was about 2 years ago, was it?
That's a bit longer, yeah.
I was going to get on this anyway. You react completely different now because you have got a beef with someone new.
Yes, but that Trax actually has achieved something in life, you know. No,
I've seen all this back and forth with you and Trax. So what is that about? What is happening?
Trax is a jeweler's in New York, right? And I have been watching him for a very fucking long time.
I've been watching
right?
it myself.
He is a mad bastard, right? Just
Yeah.
as a man, he's a mad bastard. And I called one of his clients out, Cardi B, about wearing a watch. That's 100K on my wrist and blah, blah. Of course, he sold that. And I absolutely lynched that watch because it's not a 100K watch.
How much
So
is it?
it's about 50, 60 tops. Absolute tops.
Round it up.
Right?
It's 'cause-
You round it up, yeah.
It's because they got a nice like 50 or 60 grand watch and then they put all diamonds all the way.
Does that, or
He
does
feels,
that bring it down?
Yeah, that brings value
but
massively down.
Trax believes it adds value.
Aye, so he had to
doesn't.
protect, of course, he had to protect
Protect
his client, so he had to come up and say, oh no, it doesn't, because, and then,
He's
then-
not standing for it.
and-
He's not happy.
Sounds like you're starting all the trouble.
I always start trouble. I always get myself in trouble.
But the beef has went so far that you might be having a boxing fight.
Yeah, I think that I might. It's gonna happen. Like it's
is?
gonna happen. Fuck that.
Over in New York or here?
No, fuck that. New York, no chance. The Irish built
he
New
wants
York. What the fuck are you talking about?
He wants home ground.
Home
the
ground.
whole advantage.
Now there's conversations with 2 promoters, including Kingpin and Misfits. Misfits is
DAZN,
KSI, and it looks like we're gonna do it in Dublin.
Would you be nervous if you boxed?
I don't know. I have seen you guys, and
Yeah.
I-
I'd be nervous.
yeah. Now you know what, right? This was Paddy Barnes said it to me yesterday because we're now preparing for
Well,
it
I
to
wouldn't
happen.
listen to honestly.
No, no,
Paddy
no,
Barnes.
I know. Great example. I love him to bits though.
You'll
but-
be putting on weight if you're getting on Paddy Barnes.
Is that who's training you, Paddy, for the fight?
yeah, and I want Ryan Burnett is involved as well because like
Yeah, Ryan's brilliant.
Ryan is the brain for me as well. Like I've done some boxing. I'm heavy now. I was heavier before, and then I dropped to really skinny, and that was due to Ryan Burnett's help. We trained every fucking day, and he came to my house.
That's a good team, you, Ryan and Paddy. It's a
Aye,
good team.
that would be unbelievable.
Cracks wouldn't have that.
No, I don't think so. And he's been Barry and Barry said this is going to be the easiest fight you'll ever be. But
How much rounds would it be if you were fighting?
I think it's a five rounds.
5 rounds, which is tough. Like,
And the money is good, like.
But it's still tough.
Aye.
Everyone looks at boxing and goes, it's only 3 minutes. It'll be easy. After 1 minute, you're bollocks.
Yeah, that's where we're working on now. First of all, I need to drop a
3s, or will it be 5 2-minute rounds?
I'm not sure. I'm just like whatever, make it happen.
He just
so
wants to hit
He
someone.
just wants to get it on.
I've never really done boxing in that way, you know. I've boxed. I've
Have you ever sparred on him? No.
just for jokes with Ryan and shit.
Okay.
And
Ryan don't really do jokes, so
I know.
imagine it
I
gets
know.
intense.
He can't do things normal, but I have full faith in this. And if Ryan says it's going to be easy for you,
Is
and
it-
if Paddy says it,
It's not
is there-
daunting or worrying that if you get beat, you can't show your face in the watch world again. Or does it
no,
really not
but
really matter?
I won't get beat, bro. Have you seen how skinny he is, mate?
I know.
Mate, he doesn't stand a
he's-
fucking. No, he
Is there
doesn't.
any dates, like potential dates?
3rd of June or 3rd of July.
Oh, fuck, so it's close.
Yeah. It's 8 weeks, so I need to do a miracle.
Is there going to be a weight
Think so, yes. I don't know which.
agreed weight?
Yeah,
to
but
come
he
in?
needs to come up with.
He'd need to come up with a lot of
And I need to go down a lot. And we'll make it happen. Like 100%.
I can see him backing out, you know. I don't think you
me
would.
too. Me too, actually. And we talked about this yesterday, Johnny. Remember? Like, we need to get a clause in that
there
he
needs to be
needs to
some-
fucking penalty, like, pay.
Yeah.
Something like a video apologising to you on
No, like-
public.
Nico wants the De
he's
Niro. He doesn't want.
I want that to have financial consequences for
Yeah,
him, obviously,
100%.
because he has to pay for that. But next to that, it'll also show how much of a
know
pussy
what?
he actually is.
It should be
It is.
whoever drops out has to give the other one the most expensive watch they have in the shop.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any expensive watches because they're all iced out. They're all dog shit. Fuck that.
Nico don't even want them.
No, I don't want them. Just
Fuck your
fucking hell.
watches.
Give them to the charity case called fucking Tracks Now in New York City. Fucking shite hawk. But listen, all seriousness, right? All seriousness. For me, I'm like, we were back and forth with this, right? And then all of a sudden he came out. I was like, fair enough. I respect the guy for his hard work and everything that he's done. And for me, I met him in New York, and I said to support his business, I was like, make me a pendant with Pride and Pinion logo.
How was it meeting him? Was this before the beef, or
This was before
Okay.
before the boxing really was.
well, was this before you was saying his watches were shit?
You noticed after.
Okay.
After.
What was it?
After. So we kind of made up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just posted a video that I didn't pay for the pendant. I'm like, how the fuck can I pay for a pendant that, first of all, I don't have? Second of all, he never sent me a fucking invoice.
Fuck.
So how can I? What do you expect?
Yeah.
So and that was a bit nasty. And from that moment, I was like, you know what?
What was the pen?
If you wanna talk
was it
the
like,
talk.
Does it say like
Pride
your
and
name on it?
No, Pride
Oh,
and
Just the Pride and Pinion logo. But I was like, you know what? If you want to really go that route, then just show it. Because
Is there much other rivalries and beefing in the watch game itself, or is it just
Nico's
everyone?
going to make them, man.
yeah. Johnny is laughing because then I'm pissed off at someone. To be fair, I am usually the one to blame, right?
Really?
Where's Lunds? How much is their shit?
Oh yeah, as well. I have beef with them as well, but we
Did he
surpassed
really?
them now. Yeah.
What happened with Lunds?
Fuck's sake.
No, it's just like I always have the feeling that I need to fight
Even your, I've watched you haggling. You're fucking. There's an art form to haggling in watching. I couldn't do it. I'm not a good haggler. I just see you. Take another grand off it. I'll give that grand to my son and all this shit. And
Yeah.
You're good at it.
There's an art form. It's not the first rodeo, you know.
That's why
boxing.
I could never survive in the watch game because I would just take the first prize anyone gives me and go, yep, I'll take that.
No bother. No, for me, listen, like the whole beef thing, and like to give you an idea, right? Because I absolutely come from nothing and nobody in the industry knew my name to where I am now. I always feel like we're not getting the right amount of respect or whatever, right?
So, for your respect, Kevin.
Yeah, so I always have that feeling, and then the boys just wake me up and Nico just shut up. I'm like, no, but fuck, it's unfair, and I'm like, why does he get an invite? And
you're the David Beckham of fucking watches now. You need to calm down.
I need to calm down. I was thinking the older I get, the calmer I become, but it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. But you know what? If I just look at the last 2.5 years, which is a fuck ton of fun.
I guess it's inspirational what you've done. It's great. I always. What would you say to people trying to get into the watch game? Starting out, what would
just start? You know, I don't want to be. First of all, I don't feel like I ever want to be an inspiration for anyone because I just think that people consume way too much rather than execute.
Yep.
Right? Instead, go into a course. I'll help you here. Just stop going to courses. Start fucking doing what you love, or what you want to make what you want to make money with.
Bet on yourself.
Yeah, bet on yourself instead of going to a course and someone is going to mentor you or teach you. Fuck off. Stop wasting your time to that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Start fucking putting that time and that money in yourself and start today. Right?
Yeah.
That's the key. If you want to, where can you buy watches? eBay. Where can you sell watches? eBay.
But say what you're saying that you can buy a watch, right? Say I buy a watch for $5,000.
Aye.
And I see people buy a watch for $5,000 and then sell like the next week or whatever for $6,000. Is that the kind of?
Yeah, you could. But to give you an idea, right? It's like people think, and it's all nice driving a nice car and whatever, having a good life, which I'm extremely grateful for. I've never had money in my pocket, and all of a sudden that changed. But I mean, people think that I made money because of the company, because of the watches. But no, I never had money because I've never taken money off the table with Pride and Pinion. There's never taken a penny out of it. I've never got a salary out of it, bar 1,500 quid. That's it. But the key here is YouTube. YouTube changed my life.
So YouTube, that's where you get the money from?
Yeah, that's the majority. But the key here is that the company Pride and Pinion is growing and growing and growing, and the revenue numbers are increasing.
So it all goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand, but like in 5 or 10 years, whenever we bring Pride and Pinion to a conglomerate, like the company will be worth a certain amount, and that's when I will and everyone, Stephen, Johnny, everyone involved will be benefiting from that.
What's the future? What do you want for Pride and Pinion, for the YouTube channel, for everything?
I recently became a father, so for me the business, this is the key, right? I want the business to be there and survive in its founder. So I want to bring the business to a conglomerate that will help us increase in the business, building the business and maintaining the business. So in 50 years' time, when I'm dead, my son is still as the right example. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this is something we've built. That's my ambition.
So
right?
Did you stay with the same girl from you got the?
No, I've had a few girls in between.
Okay.
Like that was good as well. But I stayed with the girl that for 6 years.
Yeah.
So,
but that's not who you have your family with now.
No, I actually have 4 baby mamas. I'm joking. I'm joking.
The watch game is crazy.
I have 1 baby mama. I have 1 baby mama.
And she's lucky one time.
She's the best woman in the fucking
Yeah.
world, and I'm not even joking. Because I wouldn't be able to do what I do without her, genuinely.
100%,
yeah.
Because she takes all the fucking pressure off me
Yeah.
to care for Junior and everything. I don't do anything.
Brilliant. Sure,
I just need to
Mrs.
focus
Nico.
on
Well,
work.
on the end of every podcast, we usually play a wee game. We give you 3 names here.
Yeah.
You have the blank one, smack one, and bad one, a dragon claw. So
Right.
we'll give you Andy Malone.
Oh, why?
Do you know what? Andy Malone, KSI, and Frank Mueller.
Frank Miller's dead.
I know, but if he was alive. If he was alive, I'm saying. He's the goat of... Is he the goat of watchmaking?
No, he's by far. Frank Miller done an incredible job at the time with introducing the tonneau shape from a ladies' watch to a man's watch at the time.
So who is the
The
pinnacle?
GOAT would be for me George Daniels.
Okay, I don't know him. The only reason I know Frank Mueller's was I watched a documentary and some guy was trying to be a watchmaker and he was terrible and he was trying to make a watch from hand.
And that's how Frank Miller was born.
Yeah.
It was terrible. That's how their watches are today.
Okay, who would you smack? Who would you blank and who would you bad dragon claw, bad drink for?
Listen, I wish Andy Malone all the best, and
But you're getting smacked.
no, like he looks like a stronger cunt than me. To be
Maybe
fair,
we should put Andy Malone on standby in case the New York Watch boy doesn't make it.
nah, I
do
don't
you
think
think
that would be a good solution because he looks like a guy that would beat me. Right? You know? that would be it. But no, I wish him all the best as long as he's happy. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I've learned from that moment where I said something.
We'll take him out. We'll hit tracks.
Oh, Trax is
Trax
getting
gets
fucking
smacked,
smashed.
right?
He gets smashed anyway.
He's getting smashed.
He's getting smashed anyway, right?
So it's blank and bad
It
dragon
would be
claw.
funnier if you put Tom Smith in there because then I'm still scared as well. But no.
Well, have you got a beef with Tom Smith?
No, I don't have beef. I do have a lot of beef, do I? No.
Tom's a past guest as well. I took big inspirations from him.
Aye,
I went through a wee thing of what would Tom do every time I was
Fair enough.
stuck. What would Tom do? Because he's one a positive guy. Very, very
Listen,
positive.
he's a hard worker. You can't argue that. You can't argue that.
Right.
But what did you say? Tracks? No, that's clear.
Tracks,
So he's getting
KSI,
smacked.
and Frank Mueller. Bad dragon claw.
KSI, I would buy Dragon
Okay.
Claw,
You're
100%.
going to
Frank
ignore
Mueller, you're gonna-
the day
he's dead.
He's dead.
So
He's dead, so-
thanks for coming on. You're
And
a
I
legend.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Hero.
yes.
I've never realised I had so much beef with everyone.
I know, it's fucking
That's
not
weird.
this. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to subscribe
Subscribe.
and get on Nico's channel because it's unbelievable. Even if you're not into watches, it actually is entertaining as
I
fuck.
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
If you're into Patreon, get on it. We'll be
Get the
doing-
Patreon. Fucking start paying money. These guys deserve a bit of
100%.
fucking support.
Nico, you're 100% there. Get on Patreon if you're not.
And we're going to continue with the pranks for all the
on
patrons who send them on.
It's been pretty fun.
If you're not on, it's £2 a month. You know what I mean?
Fuck all.
You
So-
couldn't even get a link to it or a watch, and they go shop for £2.
Nah, that's true, but it's only £2 a month.
It's fuck all.
Stop fucking being a cheapskate. Fucking become a
couldn't
Patreon.
get a paint with-
No.
But thank you and tune in next week. Boom.
Peace.
Come on, Nico.
That was you. How long was that, Sean? 55? Good.